Have you ever wondered what it takes to stand up to an oppressive regime? What kind of courage is required to look tyranny in the eye and refuse to surrender? What would you do if faced with a choice between betrayal and death? For most, these are abstract questions, hypothetical scenarios we will never have to face. But for one teenage girl in Nazi-occupied Yugoslavia, these questions were her reality. At just 17 years old, Lepa Radić made a choice that few could fathom. She chose resistance. This is the story of Lepa Radić, the teenage girl who defied the Nazis, fought for her people, and was executed for her unwavering bravery. To understand Lepa Radic's story, we must first understand the world in which she lived. By the late 1930s, Europe was on the brink of disaster. Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party had risen to power in Germany, spreading their ideology of hatred and conquest. As Hitler's forces swept across Europe, they left destruction in their wake. Countries fell one by one: Poland, France, Belgium, and beyond. Soon, Hitler set his sights on Yugoslavia. In March 1941, Yugoslavia's government signed the Tripartite Pact, aligning itself with Nazi Germany, Fascist Italy, and Imperial Japan. But the people of Yugoslavia would not accept this without resistance. Just days later, a coup d'etat overthrew the government, installing the young King Peter II. This act of defiance enraged Hitler. His response was swift and merciless. On April 6, 1941, the Nazis launched Operation Punishment, a brutal bombing campaign that reduced Belgrade to rubble. Within days, Yugoslavia was overrun, its government collapsed, and its lands were divided among the Axis powers. The Nazi occupation of Yugoslavia was ruthless. Cities and villages were placed under strict control. Those who resisted were executed. The puppet regime of the Ustasi in Croatia unleashed unimaginable horrors, particularly against Serbs, Jews, and Romani people. Mass executions, concentration camps, and forced conversions were the order of the day. In the face of such terror, many were forced into submission, but not all. This is where the story of Lepa Radić begins. Lepa Radić was born on December 19, 1925, in the small village of Gažnica near Bosanska Gradiška in what is now Bosnia and Herzegovina. She was raised in a hardworking family of Bosnian Serbs, where values of perseverance and resilience were instilled in her from a young age. Growing up in a rural community, she learned the importance of solidarity and hard work, traits that would later define her as a resistance fighter. Her family had strong ties to the communist movement, particularly her uncle, who was an active member of the workers' movement. Through him, Lepa was introduced to the ideals of equality, justice, and resistance against oppression. Even as a child, she showed remarkable intelligence and a fierce determination to stand up for what she believed in. She was an avid reader and took a keen interest in political discussions, absorbing the revolutionary ideas that surrounded her. Her deep sense of justice made her question the inequalities she observed, fueling her desire to contribute to a fairer society. By her teenage years, Lepa had already become politically active. In 1941, at the age of 15, she joined the League of Communist Youth of Yugoslavia (SKOJ), and later became a member of the Communist Party of Yugoslavia. She was young, but she was fearless. As the Nazi grip on Yugoslavia tightened, Lepa knew that the only way forward was to resist. She took part in underground activities, distributing anti-fascist literature and helping to organize resistance efforts in her community. Her dedication and fearlessness quickly gained her recognition among her peers, and she became more deeply involved in the partisan movement. With unwavering resolve, she committed herself to the fight for freedom, knowing that it could cost her life. As the war raged on, resistance movements formed across occupied Europe. In Yugoslavia, two main factions emerged: the royalist Chetniks and the communist partisans. While the Chetniks were initially involved in resistance, their reluctance to act decisively led many to join the partisans, who were actively fighting the Axis forces. Lepa Radić, like many young revolutionaries, aligned herself with the partisan movement, led by Josip Broz Tito. The partisans were determined to liberate their country, engaging in guerrilla warfare against the Nazis and their collaborators. Lepa was not just a supporter, she was an active participant. She took up arms, fought alongside the partisans, and dedicated herself to the cause of freedom. Initially, she served as a nurse, tending to the wounded and ensuring that fallen partisans were not left behind on the battlefield. But Lepa was not content to stay on the sidelines. She also took part in military operations, helping to organize supply lines, recruit young fighters, and gather intelligence. Her role was crucial, and her bravery did not go unnoticed. In late 1942, Lepa was assigned to the 7th Partisan Company of the 2nd Krajina Detachment. She was still only a teenager, but she had already proven herself as a leader and a fighter. By early 1943, the partisans faced one of their greatest challenges: Case White, also known as the Battle of Neretva. This was a massive active offensive aimed at crushing the Yugoslav resistance. German, Italian, Ustasi, and Chetnik forces launched on a coordinated assault, forcing the partisans into a desperate retreat. The enemy sought to encircle and annihilate them, leaving little room for escape. The battle was brutal, with heavy casualties on both sides, and the partisans struggled to protect both their fighters and the civilian population caught in the crossfire. During the battle, Lepa was assigned to evacuate civilians, mostly women and children, from the war-torn areas. She led them through dangerous terrain, often under enemy fire, displaying immense courage and determination. The journey was fraught with peril, as Axis forces were relentlessly closing in. She navigated treacherous paths, ensuring the safety of those under her care, all while knowing the risks she faced. In February 1943, while escorting a group of civilians to safety, Lepa was captured by the Nazis. She had fought fiercely, using up all her ammunition before being overwhelmed. The SS soldiers took her prisoner. But even in chains, Lepa Radić did not break. She endured interrogation and torture, refusing to betray her comrades. Her unwavering defiance in the face of certain death solidified her legacy as a symbol of resistance and bravery. For days, the Nazis interrogated her. They wanted the names of her fellow partisans. They wanted information that could lead to the collapse of the resistance. They offered her a chance to live if only she would betray her comrades, but Lepa refused. On February 8, 1943, Lepa Radić was led to her execution in Bosanska Krupa. A gallows had been hastily erected. The noose was placed around her neck. But even in the face of death, she stood tall. As the soldiers prepared to hang her, they offered her one last chance. "Give us the names of the partisans, and you will be spared." Her response was defiant, unwavering. "I am not a traitor of my people. Those whom you are asking about will reveal themselves when they have succeeded in wiping out all you evildoers to the last man." With those final words, the box beneath her feet was kicked away, and Lepa Radić was executed. She was just 17 years old. The Nazis believed they had silenced her, but they were wrong. Lepa Radić became a symbol of resistance, a martyr for freedom. Her story inspired countless others to join the fight against oppression, proving that courage and conviction can ignite hope even in the darkest of times. The image of the young girl standing defiantly before her executioners, refusing to betray her comrades, continues to resonate with those who learn of her sacrifice. After the war, she was posthumously awarded the Order of the People's Hero by the Yugoslav government, a testament to her extraordinary bravery and commitment to the resistance movement. This recognition cemented her place in history, ensuring that her deeds would never be forgotten. Across Yugoslavia, her name was honored, her image immortalized in statues and memorials. Schools and streets were named after her, serving as a constant reminder of her fearless defiance against tyranny. Even today, her legacy lives on. She's remembered as the girl who defied the Nazis, a beacon of courage in the darkest of times. Historians, educators, and activists continue to tell her story, keeping her memory alive for new generations. Her life has been the subject of books, documentaries, and discussions about the resilience of the human spirit. Her story is a reminder that true bravery knows no age, and that even in the face of overwhelming evil, one voice can stand strong. It teaches us that resistance is not futile, and that the sacrifices of those who stand against oppression can shape the course of history. What would you have done in her place? Would you have fought? Would you have resisted? Or would you have surrendered? Lepa Radić never surrendered, and for that, she will never be forgotten.